So, namaste, welcome to Satsang today, and a very, very happy new year. I have a good feeling about this year ahead. It's going to take us deeper and deeper into who we really are. So, if you're also new to these teachings, I just wanted to say a very warm welcome as well. And I'm going to try to speak English. So let's do a little meditation together before we open it up for questions here today. And this meditation we're going to do is one of the ones from the Dissolving the Ego book. And there's 14 different names in that book, Dissolving the Ego, for who we really are. We've called it silence and stillness and consciousness, presence. And today we're going to work with this name, the contextual field, which may sound difficult or boring or obvious, but we're just going to do this meditation on the contextual field, bringing our attention back to what is real. The field is real, the context, the greater context in which all forms appear. And we're going to we're going to do this with our eyes open, at least initially. And I'd like to ask you to keep your eyes open. You don't have to stare at anything, but just to, if you close your eyes and drift off into a deep, deep state, it feels nice, but we're going to miss an opportunity to find out something very important about us. What we're going to see in this meditation is that we can be aware of the formlessness even whilst the senses are, while our body's awake and the senses are perceiving. So with our eyes open still, we're going to still be able to recognize the field, the silence, the stillness that we are. So what we're going to do is just find a nice comfy position. And again, don't have to sit in any particular position to do the meditation. But as long as you're nice and comfy, we can focus for 15 minutes or so. And as with our eyes open, let's just start by taking a nice deep breath together, a couple of deep breaths together, and just centering ourselves here in Satsang together. So just breathing in and out. And then I'd like you to gently look at an object in the room that you're sitting in. You could look at the image on the screen or the device that you're using if you like. Just finding an object, it could be anything at all, table, a chair, or a picture or piece of furniture. And we're just going to gently look with our eyes. And you can blink, of course, it's not a staring at all. You don't have to stare intensely, just to gently let your eyes rest on that object. And then while our eyes are resting on the object, on the form, we're going to notice the empty space, the emptiness, the field that's invisible and intangible all around the object. So our eyes are gazing at the object. I'm going to use my laptop here that I'm doing the satsang on. My eyes are looking at it. And at the same time, I'm noticing the invisible, intangible field all around the laptop. And as we notice this invisible, intangible space or field around the object that you've chosen. We're noticing, maybe for the first time, that attention can be on the formlessness. Even while our senses are perceiving, our eyes are looking at the object. So even while I'm speaking, my attention is on the formlessness. And my eyes are looking at the form. For most of us, this is a revelation because we've thought that our attention has to go where the senses go. But as attention rests noticing this empty, intangible field or space around the object, you begin to see that the attention can function independently and rest on the formlessness, the empty space. So just your eyes, just gently looking at the object, and noticing the formless, invisible nothingness that is all around the object, above it, below it, behind it, in front of it. You could even use your own body as well if you like, noticing the intangible space around your body. And if you want to, from time to time, you can shift your gaze to another object. Again, keeping attention on the formless space, the field around and between objects. So noticing the formless space around the object. Noticing how your mind and probably your body too begin to relax a little when attention is on the formless space, the context, the background in which the object is appearing. Most people live their whole lives with their attention following wherever the senses go, and the mind thinking about whatever the senses are perceiving. This is a huge shift for us when we realize attention can rest on that which has no form, even while forms are being perceived through the senses, while sounds are being heard through the ears. If at any time you find that attention has wandered to some thoughts about the object that your eyes are looking at, or to some thoughts about anything, or some sound or sensation, you just simply bring it back to the space, the field around the object. And this is all we're going to do for this meditation. We're just going to Notice when attention wanders away from the formless space, and bring it back gently to notice the space around the object. This is how we move through the world, aware of who we really are, the formlessness, the field. And yet, our body and senses active in the world, in our life. And again, just checking that your attention is still on the empty space around the object. Bringing it back if necessary. It may seem quite boring to the mind to notice empty space, but there's a deep peace here and a contentment. And just keeping your eyes open so you're consciously aware that the senses and the attention don't have to go together. The senses will function all by themselves. Your ears are hearing these words. Your eyes are seeing the images or the object. And yet your attention is resting on the formlessness that is more easily perceivable by contrast, the invisible, intangible field around the object. Again, if attention has wandered to some thoughts or emotions, sensations, just bringing it back to the emptiness, the field, the nothingness. as we practice this meditation together, it may become as if the objects don't really seem as real as they were. And maybe the intangible field seems a little clearer, more obvious. We're not dismissing the objects, the phenomena. We're simply using them to help us contrast with the intangible field. And if you want to now, you can close your eyes. If you want to keep them open as well, that's okay. Noticing, even with eyes closed, that there is still this intangible field around your body, this nothingness, this space even in which thoughts appear and disappear. It is the same field, the same emptiness. So when a thought appears, you can notice the space around it. Thoughts and emotions, our bodies, all the objects in the room itself even, all appear inside this field that we cannot touch with our hands or see with our eyes. And yet it's the only permanent thing. So we'll just rest like this for 2 or 3 minutes more before we close the meditation. Just bringing attention back to the formless space. When you notice it's gone to thoughts, So, in a moment, we'll bring the meditation to a close. But before we do, we can recognize that just because the formal meditation has finished, that really we always have the chance to meditate, that we can bring our attention to that which is invisible and intangible and is literally right here. Whenever we want to, we can bring attention here, and we'll notice the mind and the body begin to relax. We don't have to go back to paying attention to thoughts all the time. So whenever you're ready, and only if you want to, you can open your eyes if they're closed. Have a move, have a stretch, have a drink if you need a sip of water or something. Take a moment just to be with what you've seen in the meditation. So I hope, although the meditation may be strange compared to ones you might have done before, you found something restful there, that there was the capacity to have attention resting on the formless, intangible space, the field that's in the background, in which all objects are appearing, including our bodies and thoughts and emotions. And that maybe you experience for the first time that attention does not have to follow the objects, and attention does not have to follow the thoughts, which are, of course, the objects that we pay the most attention to, thoughts. And actually, when attention is resting on the field, the emptiness, the nothingness, that it's actually really harder and harder to think about anything. That naturally the mind begins to slow down. The body begins to feel contentment and peace. And as I brought my attention back like this over and over again to this, even with my eyes open, I found I could meditate wherever I was. Even in the airport, there were so many bodies coming and going. Could notice the space in which all these bodies were moving by contrast. And sometimes the more movement there is in the forms, the phenomena, the easier it is to notice the background that's not moving, not changing, that isn't visible. What if this that is in between you and the device you're using to watch this on, this empty space, is not really empty space at all? What if it's something so much more profound? So, again, I hope that that was enjoyable and informative as a way of meditating together. I'll open it up now if anyone has any questions or challenges that you're having in your awakening. Feel free to raise your hand here on Zoom, and we'll have a chat, have a discussion, see where we can get to. So we'll start with Fer.
¿Qué tal? Buenas tardes, Helen. Buenas tardes a todos y todas.
Hola.
Eh, mi pregunta era acerca de, me he dado cuenta que muchas veces cuando llego a casa y tengo un tiempo libre,
Good afternoon, everyone.
¿ya?
Good afternoon, Helen. My question was when I arrive home or I get home.
Sí. y realmente no tengo nada que hacer.
and I have nothing to do,
Surge como cierto nerviosismo y la necesidad de buscar algo para hacer.
there is a nervousness and the need to look for something to do.
Como que en ese momento la sensación de vacío, la mente la percibe como algo aburrido o sin sentido,
So the mind perceives that emptiness as something boring
sí, sin sentido.
and without meaning.
Can the mind perceive emptiness, though? Or is the mind thinking about emptiness?
Hay una sensación de vacío y la mente piensa luego sobre el vacío.
There is a feeling of emptiness, and then the mind thinks about this emptiness.
Yeah. So, can we really take mind's opinion about emptiness if it can't actually experience emptiness? It can only think about it. So, when we actually experience emptiness, there's a very different experience then than when we think about it. So, right now, together, let's just, you and me and everyone that wants to, experience that emptiness, that field again that we were just experiencing in meditation. Without thinking about it, let's just experience together and see if it really is something that we want to avoid or to move away from. Let's just experience it now. So if we don't listen to the mind about this subject and actually just experience who we are, this formless emptiness, it's something that we actually kind of enjoy. There's a contentment and a quietness here. But we're so used to going to the mind and the mind telling us emptiness is boring and dull and irrelevant even. Yeah. But what
Sí,
is
pero
it?
hay un impulso, perdón,
Please go ahead.
surge en ese momento un impulso muy grande a buscar un entretenimiento o algo para hacer.
There is a big impulse to look for something to do on entertainment.
Mm. Can you find that one? Can you find the person who needs entertainment? See if you can find, is there someone that needs to be entertained here when you actually look?
Ahora no, pero entonces sí que lo parece.
Not now, but in the moment, it does appear that that that's the way it is.
Por eso mi pregunta era, ¿qué hacer en ese momento, ¿no? En el que sientes el tirón de el impulso de hacer algo.
So my question is, what to do when you feel that pull to do something?
I would, even right now, and keep checking if you can find a person, a separate being. Something is looking for entertainment. But when you see it's not a person, there's just a field here and some energy that needs something to do, to be occupied or entertained. Just an energy, not a person. Then it's easier to just let that energy arise. So you come home, you sit down on the sofa, and something says, quick, switch the TV on, or some music or something.
Mm.
But if you're aware of who you are in that moment, who you really are, it's just a feeling, this that arises. And you can even use this feeling and notice the space that it's appearing in. Even if you turn on the TV, you can notice the field between you and the TV, between your body and the TV. It's just a feeling, isn't it, that arises. It's just an energy that comes and goes.
Sí.
Not here when we want to go to sleep at night. It doesn't say you should get up and do something. It says you should go to sleep now. So it's just a feeling or an energy, like a restlessness or something. Something doesn't want to be still. But you're watching that energy from the still, silent field, from the emptiness, the nothingness.
Pero eso no significa que no podamos divertirnos o entretenernos con, sino que es la forma, ¿no? De hacerlo.
That doesn't mean that we can't entertain ourselves or have fun. It just indicates a form.
Yeah, and we all want to have fun. We just don't want to be pushed by this energy all the time, being led around by this need to do something. We can enjoy ourselves, we can put the TV on if we want to watch something, but it's not driven by this need. It's just, I feel like watching some TV and I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah.
Hay una cosa que vengo observando de hace tiempo y hay como una sensación de que si me distraigo muchísimo va a ser, voy a alcanzar, o sea, la felicidad está ahí, ¿no? En el estar total y completamente distraído.
There is something that I've noticed for a while, and it is that if I become completely distracted, I can also become completely happy.
Hmm. With without the idea that you can be distracted, you will be happy all the time. If you can't believe that you can be distracted, there'll be peace. Are you the emptiness, the field? Are you distractible? Can you be distracted? It's something to investigate because
Sí.
otherwise we go with this idea that we are the one being distracted and we have to come back to truth, to peace, to clarity. But maybe this idea is not true for you or any of us. Actually, this field, this awareness, whatever we're calling it, is just here. It's not moving. It's not changing. It's not paying attention to something and then it can be distracted over here, attention over here. It's just like this, isn't it? It's just here all the time. And it's not a person. It's not anything that we can define. Can it be distracted? Can anything affect it, actually? Something to investigate in your inquiry, to take into your self-inquiry.
Sí.
Wonderful. Thank
Muchas
you.
gracias.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. Wonderful. We'll go to Nancy. Here we go. Wonderful.
Hi, Helen. Um, what's the connection or the reconciliation between that contextual field and self-inquiry?
Self-inquiry is simply looking and seeing who you actually are. And the contextual field It's just another name for who you are. We could call you silence or stillness. Field just indicates something that's full of potentiality, but isn't actually manifest yet. It's invisible, intangible, and often goes unnoticed.
Um, uh, I meant more like what we did, like this meditation, that contextual field meditation, what we just did before. That does not seem to be the same that I'm supposed to do for the self-inquiry. I still struggle with that self-inquiry a little bit. What am I looking for? I'm probably not looking for anything, but what am I doing? Because I thought, is that maybe the same? Because it is the contextual field meditation comes easily to me. And the self-inquiry is still, I've only learned it from you in the retreat in beginning of December, but it's still, I still struggle, whoever is me struggles with that. But this contextual field is much easier, but it's not the same thing, isn't it? The meditation thing.
So, yeah, meditation is slightly different than self-inquiry. In meditation, we're just noticing that field, noticing the field, bringing attention back to it again and again. And in self-inquiry, we're questioning the sense of a separate being. We're investigating if that's really true, the one that feels separate to the field or awareness or whatever we're calling it. In self-inquiry, we actually directly look and don't find that person that's feeling, well, we were just talking about distraction, or the one that's, we find no meditator, we find no separate being. So when we don't find a separate being in self-inquiry, what we do find is the field again, is the formlessness.
See, I don't find it when I do self-inquiry. I easily find it looking at anything, even on my hand. But when I, do self-inquiry, so-called, I don't feel like I'm the field.
Yeah, it's normal for a while, but
Oh,
let's just dive in now if you want to. Let's play with it a little if you.
yeah, love to.
So let's have a look and see what you find when you look for yourself. Take your time with this. No rush.
Yeah, firstly, there might be a body, but then I'll give you that there is only sensations, feelings,
Maybe,
thoughts,
yeah, sense perception,
sense perceptions, yeah,
all of that, yeah.
all of that. And there is no such thing as an entity.
Well, let's have
Me?
a look. Can you
Yeah.
actually find someone living in your body? Is there a person, or is it something else using the body and mind and senses? What is this I that says, I do self-inquiry or I meditate? What is that?
It's just thoughts.
What is it that sees those thoughts, that knows those thoughts?
I can't tell.
Is it a person? Can you point to it? Something's aware of thoughts, right? But is it an object? Is it a person, a form, or something else?
Theoretically, I know the answer, obviously, but I'll try to be,
Yeah, we're interested in actually seeing. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And this is, I, I can't see it. I
You can't see it as an object, right?
Yeah.
But it isn't there still something in which the body, mind, and thoughts are appearing, something that's not a thing. You're doing great. What is it that the thoughts are appearing in and the body's appearing in? And
Well, appearing in is something different than who's noticing it.
maybe not.
Oh,
I'm going to ask you a weird question if I can.
yeah.
And if you can't answer, it's fine. It's just nice to entertain the question because it's doing some deep work inside of us. Is the body appearing inside you, or are you inside the body?
The body.
Is the body appearing inside you, or are you appearing inside the body? Strange question.
Well, first I would say I'm appearing in the body, but upon second thoughts, that seems both is true.
Yeah. So you're also in the body, right? You're using the body to perceive, to have this conversation and all of that.
Okay.
Something, you're not just an object, you're not just a person, you're not just as big as the body, maybe bigger than the body, maybe the body's appearing inside you, something formless. Well, we're calling it the contextual field today, but we could call it anything. And our thoughts, the body, emotion, sensations, all of that is just appearing inside it. And when we first notice it, it feels like it's just blank, empty, nothingness. But what if it's actually something intelligent? What if the body isn't really intelligent, or the mind isn't really intelligent on its own? But they borrow intelligence from this formless you.
I'm absolutely convinced that's the case, but I just can't feel it. You know what I mean?
Would it have a feeling if it's completely formless? Would it be
Well, here that's my question, because when we do this contextual field thing, I feel something totally.
in the body? When we notice the field, we could say, it doesn't feel like anything, the field itself, but when attention is on the field, the body feels really nice, starts to feel nice. But that's not the field itself, that's an effect or like a echo,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So if we tune in now to the contextual field again, you and me, and everyone, of course, it's not a feeling, isn't it? It doesn't feel like anything in and of itself. It's just kind of nothingness. But then when we notice it, it has this nice effect within the body. The body starts to feel all relaxed and nice, right?
Yeah. But shouldn't the body feel the same when I do self-inquiry and find myself, the real self?
It will, right? The
Oh,
major thought that stops the body from feeling as nice in self-inquiry is that some kind of sense that you are the one trying to make self-inquiry work as a person, right? Can you feel that sense?
yes.
Yeah. So let's just play with this. I know there's a Linju is waiting, but let's just play with this one more time. Let's just see, are you a person? Can you find a separate being?
Probably not. No.
Well, let's be sure. There's a body, there's thoughts, sensations.
Yeah. No, there's no person
Who do they
itself.
belong to? What is it that those thoughts belong to? Is it a person or something formless?
Yeah, it must be something else, something.
Mm. So who's doing this self-inquiry if it's not a person? Strange, isn't it?
Yes. Okay.
So now there's more relaxation. There's no
Okay.
response.
Okay.
I have to make self-inquiry work, you know? I have to get it
All
right.
right. So that's like with all the, because with all the normal life, I have already figured out that I'm not doing anything because whatever I plan is not happening anyway. Something is always happening, something different. So the same thing with the self-inquiry. That's right. You're right. Yeah. So it'll happen or it won't. So yeah.
What if it's just happening by itself, the inquiry,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
meditation did? Is there anyone doing the meditation either?
Yeah. No.
No.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You can relax
Thank
a bit more now, right? That it's the field looking for itself, recognizing itself. It's
Yeah.
the awareness beginning to become aware of itself rather than the person it thought it was, all these thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We'll finish today with Linju. Wonderful. Hi, love.
Hi, Helen. Do we still have enough time? I'm very bad at managing time, so I don't want to take too much time. If
No,
uh,
we have time for this. Yeah, absolutely.
okay, then I'll try to be fast.
Okay, take your
I
time.
have I have a question about the meditation.
Yeah.
I could feel the relaxation,
Mhm.
and like Nancy, I could feel the feel, like sense it.
Mhm.
But then I was wondering, my mind was wondering, like when I was not staring, like I was using my computer. When I
Mhm.
was not staring, when I just rest my attention on the screen, then I didn't get any visual information. So I was thinking, if someone would sit in front of me, having a talk with me, if I do this while I'm talking, I would feel insecure, or my mind would feel insecure, like I don't get any visual information. Like, yeah, what does this person look at the moment? Does he, you know what I mean? Like, because we tend to get a lot of visual information while communicating.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if it's effective, or like if I can also use the meditation in communicating with people. Like I could hear you, I'm very relaxed, but yeah, I don't know if I could imagine seeing somebody like in front of me and talking like this.
Let's check it out together. So let's both of us and everyone else can follow along if you want to. Both of us just gently rest our eyes on the image. So I'm looking at your body, you're looking at this body with your eyes, right? And with our attention, just noticing the space between yourself and your computer, right? The attention is on the space itself. The eyes are still looking at the image, the mouth's still speaking, right? You can still talk while you're doing this.
That's true.
Yeah. And if we're to wave our hands around, and even if we got up and went, at first it might seem a little harder while the body's moving, but still we can be aware of the space in which the body's moving. But what does stop is all the thinking about what's going on, right? So it's very hard to think when your attention is on the
That's
space.
true.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like I'm looking at you, but I'm not. I'm really like focusing on it, and I don't have any thought about what I'm seeing
Yeah.
because I'm focusing on the space between us.
Yeah. And so the body can still function. We're having this conversation just fine. The visual field, I can see what you're wearing, how your hair is. If you were to move, I would see that still because my eyes are looking at the image, the form, but
Mhm.
attention is resting on the formless space. And we find that we're actually just present. You and me are actually just meeting without any thoughts in the way now. We're just here, noticing the real being between, between the bodies, right? Is the formless
Yeah.
that we are.
Wow, that's great. I would love to practice more, like in daily life when I talk to other people.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And, it even begins to have a subtle effect upon them. They begin to relax a little bit as well. When your attention is on the field, they find the other body mind will find it very hard to be stressed out even because there's no thinkingness going on within you even. There's just a calmness, a presence. We're just here, right? These bodies appearing inside the field.
Yeah, and it calms my body immensely.
Yeah.
Like I'm very relaxed when I'm doing that.
Quite nice and nicely addictive in a good way. And there's no loss of functionality. Eventually practicing, you can get in the car like this and drive eventually. Um, and go to the supermarket, even have an argument with someone like this.
Really?
But it's a bit, after a while, you feel a little bit too lazy to do that, to be angry with someone because the body's relaxed, isn't it?
Yes. And when we were meditating, it was relaxing, but I was kind of like going to sleep, like it's a state between falling asleep and being awake. So yeah, if
Actually, a little taste of how awakened beings, their experience. For most of us, the waking state, we're always thinking or some thought activity going on. But actually, as this deepens, it's just like being asleep because you're not thinking all the time. There's a restfulness of deep sleep. More and more, the body relaxes and relaxes. But the senses are perceiving the body's moving around. So it's a little bit, it feels like sleep because the mind stops and the body relaxes. The body isn't having to deal with the effect of all these thoughts that we're thinking. And we're just
is it
here.
dangerous, or if I go on the street and doing that, yeah, being in a state of being sleepiness and then trying to find my way through.
You get used to it bit by bit because we're not used to functioning with such slow brain waves. As awakening deepens, our brain waves are slowed right down. Most people are um, functioning on really fast brain waves that do, got to get, do, become, that kind of energy. And at first, it can feel a little bit like falling asleep, but little by little you adjust to it. And it's just normal then, right? It's normal. It's like, how did I function the other way? How did I ever wander around with my attention on my thoughts and not, like how did my body stay safe? If I wasn't really even noticing what was going on, I was lost in my thoughts the whole time, pretty much all of the waking state. So it's actually safer when you get used to it because we're present here, right? If something happened right now, we'd be present. We could respond appropriately instead of being paralyzed by thoughts or something like that. It just takes a little getting used to.
Yeah. Okay. It takes practice and get used to the state.
Yeah, but don't make it hard work, right? Just
Yeah.
how the mind is I want to make this happen. I'm going to do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to do that right now. Like
Let me go to work.
24 hours.
And of course I did that, right? I'm gonna notice the field all day, every day. But it's just enough to just bring attention back to it whenever you can. And naturally it just becomes more obvious that that we've given the least importance to this intangible, whatever it is actually the most important aspect from which, and then the bodies and minds are all arising from there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Questions. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. We shall leave it there for today. Thank you so much to our translators and co-hosts, and thank you for working way through the technical challenges and bearing with us while that went on earlier. And as we just said, please just enjoy practicing like we did in the meditation. Again, not making it hard work. And if the contextual field isn't the doorway for you, the name for you, there's awareness, silence, stillness, presence, this now moment. They all point to the same thing. There's a lot of them. Emptiness we've used also, no thingness. You can call it whatever you like. It is the only thing that is permanent, stable, and unchanging. And so we're just getting to know it a little bit more with our attention. So thank you so much. Namaste.